Hey guys, welcome to the strategy recap slash brief video. So up to now, we've gone through most of the strategies and aspects of technical analysis, which we will be using day in, day out. We want to keep it very clean, very simple, and very, very straightforward. Now, so the talking points of this video are going to be, I'm just going to run over just to reiterate some of the more or less fine print behind some of the prior videos, okay, just to ensure that we're all on the same page going forward, and yeah, just to highlight a few of the setups and condense it into what we're going to be looking for day in, day out in the market. Now, so firstly we have, well, I'm going to list them off. We have trend lines, counter trend lines, and so on. Support and resistance bounce wherever we're going to be trading to and from, because that's all the market does, remember. It's going to be bouncing off these key levels. It's all about getting your key levels as accurate as possible. Looking at the daily highs and lows, prior day high and lows, sorry. We're looking at the daily and 4-hour key levels, the blue lines you can see right in front of me. Moving averages, we're going to take them into consideration. Obviously, top-down analysis and more or less cultivating that mindset of always looking from top to bottom. Again, I've already mentioned that's why I have my charts set up the way they are, so I can have the daily in the corner, maybe switch that over to the weekly and the monthly. 4-hour always remains top right, and I can switch between the hourly and the 2-hour just there. Candlestick formations, you guys should be nailing candlestick formations out now. There's around 10, and the 3-pin formation, which is vital to a lot of the setups that we're going to be going through actually. Daily highs and lows, I've just mentioned that, but you guys had a great video on that, and some of the trade setup before and afters are based from the daily high and low setups there. I'm sure if you students have actually gone through the charts, set up the prior day's high and lows on your charts, now you can actually see time and time again where a lot of these reversals are actually coming through. Stop hunting above and below prior zones. I'm going to be going through that concept and just giving you guys an insight. I can see something here happening on the Aussie right now. Session times, waking up early if you are in the UK. So again, vital. Another video I'm going to be going through at the end of this section is cultivating a strategic mindset. Okay, and that's super vital. So get ready for that one. So in terms of trade strategies, it's nothing fancy. It's knowing a bias of a currency pair, knowing which ones we don't want to trade, looking at the news. Okay, so today's Thursday, we've actually got non-farm payroll tomorrow. Now, with that being said, you guys who have had experience, or you guys who are still, getting used to reading the calendar alongside your technical analysis, all of your key levels I've given you. Today, actually, this morning, I added a new key level video for GBP JPY, GBP AUD, oil, and silver. So, and then we've also got gold, AUD USD, GBP USD, Euro USD, and USD CAD. So we're looking at around 8 or 9 pairs here, guys. Okay, and all your levels are there. Your chart should be exactly the same as mine now going forward. So your job is to nail these strategies down day in, day out, day in, day out. Watch how the news comes out and impacts your technical analysis, because remember, this is primary overall, and then go forward from there. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to now go ahead and just start to go through some of the breakdowns. So what I'm going to start with first is the trend line. The counter trend line is more important, to be honest. Haven't really seen too many of these setups. I've seen one on GBP USD, so I'm just going to run over a few things. In another video in this section, I'm going to go into stop losses and the time frames we want to be utilizing with these strategies. But a recent one on the Okay, so for instance, GBP USD is melting off the face of the earth right now, and I've covered all of these moves before. I've told you where GBP USD is going, looking at 1.15. I covered this on YouTube and I've covered it in the members area. So also I forgot to just mention Fib's going to be included as well. Fib is a vital tool. I'll show you the most recent Fibonacci right here. A down to, where was it? B. That was B, was it? A to B. Just there. And this was the swing on my last video. So I took it from the significant high down to the lows here. I did not see any of this price action prior. I just seen this pop up back above the monthly area, which is now resistance. And you can go back onto the weekly breakdown to spot this. But we have A, B, C retracement 38.2. Nice 3-pin pattern formation there if you wanted to zoom right in. And yeah, we came straight off that and eventually came down to target 1. Target 2 is broken there. But remember, this is a 4-hour fib and there's probably a bigger fib in play. But starting with the trend line, the counter trend line. So guys, counter trend lines can only really be used in a falling or rising market, i.e. bullish or bearish, where we can see the market making legs, new swings to the downside and so on. So an example would simply be, okay, we have this trend line over here, which was then broken. The crossovers occurred as well. Okay, market has gone on to complete into new low structure there, and that's a 4-hour. So let me just delete that 4-hour for a second. Now, if we go over to the hourly, say we've got the hourly here, and we can see the counter trend line moves where we can actually go ahead and place these counter trend lines. Haven't got the moving averages on this chart in particular, but we can see where the counter trend line breaks, boom, into new lows. Yeah. See where it breaks, breakout candle there, into new lows, pulls back. Market consolidated here for a while. Next move, boom, right there. We could even maybe go across here. Okay, right there. Breakout, retest, continuation. So there's one today as well. I didn't take this one personally. We have a mini little counter trend line there as well. So counter trend lines, 2-hour, 4-hour, hourly, depending on the market condition. But that is going to be one of your most vital. All of them are vital, to be honest. All of these are vital. But the counter trend line is going to be vital in a trending market where the market's now making legs. So there's a couple of examples on the GBP USD there. If I go to gold now, gold, remember the rules. I'll give you all of the gold levels, guys. Give you all of the gold levels, 1250s. Remember the rule of if a monthly area breaks, the weekly is the next area of support. Look at the violent breakout we had on gold here. Boom, straight through. That's a sell straight up on that 4-hour close. So your target should have been weekly, which we're now hitting more or less to the pip shortly. Yeah, 9 pips away. 9 pips away, and we're going to be hitting that weekly. We may consolidate around here. We may break through and see 1200. That's 1,000 pips from 1300 to 1200 per ounce. If we're looking at gold on a higher perspective, I've done YouTube videos about this as well, guys. This thing is terrible right now. This looks like it's falling off the face of the earth. I'm using all of the structured analysis, and then we're going in deeper on smaller time frames in order to look for trading setups. So anyway, that's the trend line. The counter trend line is going to be the most vital piece for everybody. Right, Euro, I'll get into this in a minute, a little bit of a fib move there. So the counter trend line, let's see if we can find another quick example of where this could have been utilized. So over here, I prefer trading from key level to key level rather than trend line to trend line. So we have this point here across there. So we've consolidated, we've popped above the prior day's high over here. Okay, we have a tweezer top, a bearish, well, it's not a bearish engulfing, but it is a Marubozu over there, and then we've came down, broken through with a shooting star this trend line here, and as you can see, Aussie dollar is now melting. Next point of call is probably this daily area of support next to 0.7550. Nice round number over there. So I'm watching, stalking this, okay, for a potential buy setup going forward. Any more trend lines? Nice short GBP JPY trade I put on this morning and came close to my target. I was out having lunch. I'll get into that in a bit. As you can see, GBP USD is just absolutely collapsing across the board. Well, all pound pairs are really. GBP JPY, GBP AUD, and GBP USD. So upon the reversal here on USD/JPY, I'm just using this just for analytical purposes really only. Trend line across there, huge breakout and so forth. So it's always the breakout candle. We can use these on our key levels. Always look at the higher time frame key levels. Always look at your candlestick formations. So trend lines, just as a recap, they are going to be one of your most vital pieces, counter trend lines, especially on the 2-hour, 4-hour, and 1-hour time frames. Next up, we've got the standard support and resistance bounce, where more or less we're using our any of the candlestick formations, to be honest, and we are also looking for the 3-pin pattern formation. So support and resistance, remember guys, you should have all of your levels on there. I'll go into this. So see these moves, these are coming out of the Asian range. I'll get into that shortly. That's why it's always I would always say it's vital for you to get up in more or less just before the London session. So over here in London, it will be I'll wake up at 6 a.m. To scout out some of these setups, because we will see time and time again. The market, well, I'll get to it afterwards, okay? Well, I'll get to that. So we have the trend lines there, support and resistance bounces. So yeah, support and resistance bounces. Where's a vital one that I've seen? Okay, so here it was. So what actually happened here on the GBP JPY trade that I took? Now, massive support at 130s. We've blown straight through this resistance where many stop losses must have been up here, okay, from people going short, because there's a lot of selling pressure on this. And here as well, boom, that's an obvious area of daily resistance in our case. Stops will be up here as well. The market's hunted those stops out, okay. We've fallen down in London in the Asian session today. We've retested this blue area as resistance, and I've gone in, okay, after this candlestick there. Okay, it's not really any pattern whatsoever. It's more or less an inverted hammer. So I've seen the spike up as a retest. So this is breakdown back through, spiked up as a retest, candle afterwards once more, candle afterwards once more, which actually closes as a Marubozu shooting star. So that could have been a nice entry right there. Sure, I'm looking for my target 2. As you can see, target 1's been achieved. However, here I'm being ambitious because I do believe this could potentially come lower, back below this area of support, and maybe even come all the way back down to the monthly area as well. So that trade here was more or less taken from a daily area of flat resistance, which again is very powerful if you get them drawn on correct. Oil, I've added oil into the members zone as well, guys. So you can all check that one out. Let's have a look at GBP AUD, flat area of resistance. Here, the weekly resistance, we've had one bang of a head, and then we came up again, spike. We also had confluence with the prior day's high just here, and then that would have been your sell signal after the close of this hourly candle right there, born straight into profit, looking for this to maybe make new lows now. But the weekly area of resistance here, same thing. There would have been stop losses above that level. Again, set the 50 zones. I'll give you all the key levels for this. Just follow the rules that I give you. So yeah, we spiked above it once, bearish engulfing, and even here as well, prior day's high, but we didn't actually get any follow through. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see all of the bodies where none of the bodies actually managed to close above that level. Prior day's high level there as well. And we've also, boom, back below and rejected weekly resistance. So we're looking at reversals around flat areas of support and resistance. We can even class this as a 3-pin pattern. 1, 2, 3, right there. Boom, you know what to do after that third one. Stop losses 20 pips above, well, 15 to 30 pips above. My preference is 20. Next, candlestick formations. So we've done trend lines, support and resistance bounces, 3 pins, candle formations. That all ties in together. Shooting stars, bearish engulfing, tweezer tops, okay, dojis. You know what all of this means, guys. It's in the book, bullish engulfing. What else do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. There's a morning star there as well. So you're just going to have to study those. Stick them on your wall. I've already mentioned this. Whatever it takes you to learn your candlestick formations, use it on a bigger time frame first. So even over here on GBP AUD, we came through this area 1.7. spiked up, closes a shooting star here, gap down on a weekend, momentum to the downside, flat body candle, flat close of a body candle, and a shooting star momentum. Sideways right now, spike on this daily time frame 6750. Okay, so we're looking at maybe coming all the way down to 6500. So we've still got maybe even 200 pips to go on this. The daily candle hasn't completed here, but if we close any lower, it could be a shooting star. So candlestick formations are going to be vital to you guys. Next on the list, we got the daily highs and lows. I just want to reiterate the importance of those once more. So again, if you want, you can set them up on, when you guys have your charts set up like this, so remember hourly and 2 hour over here, you can see what's going on around there. Beautiful reversal. And then across here as well, so that we have the overall direction. Remember, always look at the monthly, weekly, daily, make notes, stick to a few pairs if you are relatively new to all of this. Daily highs and lows, as you can see over here, we have rejection, massive shooting star there, and this can potentially start to roll over now. So this ties into flat areas of support and resistance once more, and you're going to see this time and time again. The market is always going to probably try and trick us before it makes headway to where it wants to go next. Over here, so as I've mentioned on the Aussie, on this hourly time frame, spike straight up, boom, buyers, whip down, okay? And again here, just remember guys, when you have your daily areas of support and resistance on there, the way I've just told you to draw it on, stops are going to be more or less above these obvious places. So here I do firmly believe stops have been taken out. We above the blue area of resistance, above the prior day's high, whip straight back down. And if you see the Marubozu there, sorry, and the tweezer top, you know, if you recognize that pretty fast, or you can wait till we're trading back below both zones again. Short, ready to now take out new lows, which we have just done on the Aussie. But it's all about market psychology. Take out the stops first, then continue in the overall direction. Here again, we've gone up. We've got 1, 2, 3 pin pattern straight out of the Asian session. Boom, slam, at least 100 pips there. We slammed straight through the day after, the daily lows, pulled all the way back, gone straight back into the range, pulled the highs up again, because again, obvious places where stop losses are going to be placed when the people who are selling the sudden fast moves. And then here again, we've got 1, 2, 3 pin formation there, another easy 100 pips if you caught that, and so on going forward. So the daily high and lows, I cannot stress enough how important it is. Keep to the hourly. I always switch between the hourly and 2 hour, and then the 4 hour as well. That is all you need, daily highs and lows. Euro USD, like for instance, this has just been a nightmare overall, but basically we're just dangling right now, just below the prior day's low there. We're in between 61.8 and 78.6 fibs, so I'm looking for any kind of reversal around here at the moment. Back to the upside, could just be fishing, ready to boom, blow out. Okay, so I've got that fib on there as well. So guys, every single day, daily highs and lows on every single currency pair. You can go check it out on oil, gold, silver. I've now added to the members, so please go check that out. Next, we have the stop hunting above prior zones. So this one is relatively simple, to be honest. It's just about market psychology. That's why sometimes let's look at this pound. So pound over here, it was very it was all over the place, quite choppy consolidation. So if you look at this zone, even above this zone right here, and many stops would have been placed above here and just above here in general for anyone who's going short. Okay, now the Brexit low was here, and I did mention we're going to take that out. However, before it took it out, look what we've seen. We've seen boom, took out all of the stops there, sudden fast movement, and then it's come all the way down to make the lows. So always sit on your hands, wait and say to yourself, okay, where are these obvious points with my daily areas of support and resistance where retail traders could be placing stop losses? Let's see if the market hunts that area out first. Don't get caught up into the sudden fast movements of, okay, buy, because it's potentially going to get ready to roll over, and use as many confluences as possible, okay? Such as, again, this could even be the prior day's high just here. It spiked straight through it, came back below it, and so on. Now, last but not least, session times and waking up early. So we've gone through all of the strategies. This is all you need, guys, to really trade the foreign exchange markets and the commodity markets and so on. skill set on looking at the bigger picture, going down, nailing that journal out. Please, please, please stick with your journal. So stop hunting above the prior zones before actually going in the overall direction. It's more or less similar to the daily highs and lows. Anyway, moving averages on the higher time frames as well, daily and weekly. Always ensure, well, it's not a given, as I say, it can be a helping hand, but the weekly and the daily both pointing in the same direction. And session times and waking up early. Routine wise, where we're going to be getting this market movement recently, especially in the last week or so, London session. Just before the London session is where you're going to see the sudden moves, maybe spiking through the prior day's high or low out of the Asian range. Then in the London session, you might see the get-go, or it might consolidate, and then you may see the get-go in the US session. So this is just a wrap-up video, okay? Stop loss and stuff, I'm going to go into that shortly. It's either the video after this or the video prior, depending on how I lay it out. And then the strategic mindset, I'm just going to talk to you guys and just give you a few more tips on what to look for. I'm going to continue to, if you're new as well, the market breakdown video is going to come every Monday evening. Okay, and out of the 9 pairs, I'm not going to cover all 9 pairs. I'm just going to maybe pick a few, at random and so on. You've got your own key levels now. You should have all of your charts set up in this manner, so you can actually start to do your own analysis and find your own trades and so on. So yeah, trend lines, counter trend lines, support and resistance bounces, whether it be monthly, weekly, daily, or the daily highs and lows. Candlestick formations, the 3-pin formation there as well. Stop hunting above and below prior zones. Try to cultivate the mindset of a market maker, not a retail trader. And make sure you actually wake up early, and you're going to get the most trades between, 5 and 9 a.m. GMT. And watch that news and be careful of the big news. Okay, the major news. So guys, that's just a little bit of a strategy recap there. Obviously, there's other aspects of charting that are all on the other videos prior. Top-down analysis, keep nailing your work, keep saving, and everything will come together sooner or later. Okay, thank you.